Okay, so when you hear Goa, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Probably sun, sand, maybe those famous parties, India's party capital, right? And yeah, for a lot of people, Goa is that perfect holiday spot, relaxing, fun. But what if I told you there's a whole other side to Goa, a much dapper, richer story beyond the beaches? We're talking centuries of unique history, a real melting pot of cultures, and get this, a legal identity you won't find anywhere else in India.
That's exactly what we're trying to do here today. We've pulled together a whole stack of information, basic facts, but also some really surprising historical bits. And our mission really is to unpack all that and give you the key takeaways about Goa, Pearl of the Orient.
Hmm.
Think of it as a shortcut, to get past the usual tourist view and really understand this fascinating state.
Okay, let's dive in then. We've got this incredible dossier on Goa, and honestly, it's packed. Stuff about its laws, its global connections, things I didn't even know. So maybe let's start with the basics, just to get everyone on the same page. Goa became a full state in India on May 30th, 1987. Before that, it was a union territory. Its capital is Panaji, though lots of people call it Punjab, sort of affectionately.
Right. Adjourn.
And the biggest city is actually Vasco da Gama. Geographically, you picture it on the west coast of India. It's got Maharashtra to the north, Karnataka wrapping around the east and south.
And the Arabian Sea on the west, of course.
Exactly. It's pretty small area-wise, only about 3,700 square kilometers. But it's got these lovely rivers like the Mandovi and the Zwari, which are super important.
And the language is spoken there. Well, that really tells the story in itself. Konkani is the official language, yes.
Right.
But you'll hear Marathi, Hindi, English quite a lot too. But the Portuguese element, that's the key thing. Its influence is still there. You can feel it. And, some older folks still actually speak Portuguese. It's like a living link to that whole historical period.
And that period, that's where Goa's story just takes a completely different path from most of India, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, you had ancient Indian rulers there, Kadambas, Mauryas, Chalukyas, but then Vasco da Gama shows up, and boom, the Portuguese arrive in 1510, and they stay for 451 years until 1961.
451 years.
It's staggering when you think about it. That's longer than British rule over the rest of India.
Much longer.
It became the capital of Portuguese India, a huge trading hub. So how did that much time under that specific influence shape Goa differently?
Well, profoundly is the short answer. It wasn't just a surface thing. It fundamentally changed the place. You see it in the architecture, right? Those beautiful houses with the balconies, the tiled roofs.
Oh, yeah, totally distinct.
And Christianity took hold widely. About 25% of Goans are Christian today, which is a direct result. The food, the social customs, even people's names,
Yeah.
they all carry that Portuguese imprint. And old Goa Velha Goa, it was apparently called the Lisbon of the East.
Wow.
Had something like 300 churches back in its heyday. Imagine that.
Now, we also need to mention, just as a matter of historical record from our sources, the Goa Inquisition. It ran for a long time, from 1560 to 1812. The Portuguese set up this religious court, basically, to enforce Catholic orthodoxy. And the sources show this led to religious persecution, book burnings, restrictions on local customs. It's a tough part of the history, but important to acknowledge impartially, based on what we've read.
Yes, understanding that difficult period is definitely part of grasping the full picture. And all this history, this long, unique journey, it culminates in Goa's liberation by India.
Yeah.
That happened on December 19th, 1961. They celebrated it as Goa Liberation Day.
Right.
And then, as you said, it finally became a full state in 1987, cementing its unique place within India.
But Goa isn't just about the past, right? Its culture today is so alive. Religion-wise, you mentioned Christianity is about 25%, largely from the Portuguese era. Hinduism is the majority, around 66%, and Islam about 8%. But those numbers, they don't quite capture the vibe, do they?
No, they really don't, because what's truly amazing is the harmony, the mixing, what academics call syncretism. You'll find Goan Hindus lighting candles in churches. You'll see Christians joining in Ganesh Chaturthi festivities.
Really? That's fascinating.
Yeah, and there were quite a lot of cross-cultural marriages, too. It just shows this really unique blend. And this goes through in the festivals as well. You've got Shigmo, the Hindu Spring Festival, but also Carnival, which is huge in Goa, totally unique for India, and a direct legacy from Portuguese times.
The Carnival sounds amazing.
Oh, it is. And then, of course, Christmas, New Year's are big celebrations, alongside Ganesh Chaturthi, Diwali, Holi, Eid. They celebrate it all.
Okay, let's shift gears. Food. Everyone associates Goa with amazing food.
And rightly so.
It's a seafood paradise, obviously. Prawn curry, fish ranchado, crab zek yak. I'm getting hungry just listing them.
Oh, me too.
But it's more than just seafood. Dishes like Goan vindaloo.
Which has such an interesting origin story itself.
Right. And sorpatels, akutis, these rich, complex flavors.
And babinka for dessert.
Yeah.
That layered cake.
Oh, babinka, yes. A must try.
Definitely. And we have to mention feni.
Ah, feni, the local spirit.
Made from cashew fruit or coconut sap. It's so unique, it's actually got a GI tag, geographical indication.
Meaning it's protected, like champagne or Darjeeling tea,
Yeah.
a heritage product.
Exactly. And beyond food, the art and the music are also very distinct. You see it in the churches, obviously, and that Portuguese-style architecture everywhere. Look out for azulejos, those colorful painted tiles. They're a classic Portuguese touch you see on buildings.
Oh, the blue and white ones often.
Often, yeah, but other colors too. And the music scene is this cool blend of Western instruments, violin, piano, guitars, mixed with Indian ones like the traditional Goan drum, the gumo. It creates a really unique sound.
Okay, this next point is something that really stood out to me from our research. Goa's legal identity. Well, it's completely unique in India. Goa is the only state with a uniform civil code, right? The Goa family law.
That's correct. It means the same laws for marriage, divorce, inheritance apply to everyone. Hindus, Christians, Muslims, everyone.
Which is very different from most other states in India where personal laws are often tied to religion for these matters.
Absolutely. It's a direct legacy of the Portuguese legal system they inherited and retained after liberation. And you could argue this unique legal status ties into Goa's generally more liberal feel. Alcohol tends to be cheaper, more readily available legally than in many other parts of India.
Right, that's well known.
And the nightlife, the casinos, including those famous floating ones on the Mandovi River, they're all legal and a big part of the tourism scene. It all contributes to this sort of open, inclusive vibe that attracts people from all over the world.
Yeah, we've talked about beaches, but you mentioned there's more. What about tourism beyond the sand? Our sources definitely point to other things, like venturing inland.
Oh, yes. The hinterlands are beautiful. You can visit spice plantations, breathe in those amazing aromas, or take these really peaceful backwater cruises, similar to Kerala in a way, but with a Goan flavor.
That sounds lovely.
And the heritage homes. You can actually visit some of these centuries-old Portuguese mansions, like the Menezes Braganza House or Figueiredo Mansion.
Oh, wow, step back in time.
Exactly. See how the Goan aristocracy lived?
Yeah.
It's fascinating. And the natural beauty isn't just the coast. Inland, you've got stunning sights like the Dusagar waterfalls.
Oh, the Sea of Milk Falls. I've seen pictures. They look incredible.
They are, especially during the monsoon. And there are important wildlife sanctuaries, too. Bhagwan Mahavir, Salim Ali Bird Sanctuary. Remember, Goa is part of the Western Ghats.
Which is a global biodiversity hotspot.
Precisely. So conservation there is incredibly important, protecting all that unique plant and animal life.
And that conservation effort connects to something else interesting, civic action in Goa, because there are environmental threats from development, right? Highways, railways.
Yes, significant pressures.
But what's striking is how people have responded. Movements like #SaveMalam showed really strong citizen protests to protect forests.
Absolutely. There's a very engaged population when it comes to environmental issues.
And they also actively protect olive ridley turtles nesting on beaches like Galgibaga and Morjim. It shows a real connection to nature.
And speaking of protected heritage, we can't forget Old Goa. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The churches and convents there, just incredible.
Like the Basilica of Bom Jesus.
Yes, where the relics of St. Francis Xavier are kept, and the Say Cathedral next to it. They're monumental, historically and spiritually.
Shifting to politics for a moment, Goa is known for a pretty lively political scene, lots of changes.
Very dynamic, yes.
Yeah.
And high voter turnout, a well-informed electorate, generally.
But there's this unique thing called Gram Sabha democracy.
Ah, yes, it's a form of grassroots governance. Locals actually gather in village meetings to make decisions for their village.
So direct democracy at the local level.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a strong tradition of community involvement in local affairs. And it's interesting how this local identity also connects globally. There's a large Goan diaspora of people who settled in East Africa, the UK, Portugal.
Right. Historical links.
And many even held dual citizenship with Portugal for a long time. Goa still fosters ties with other Portuguese-speaking countries, Brazil, Mozambique. They call it Lusophone connections.
So Portuguese consulates, language institutes are still active there.
Yes, maintaining those links. It's a small state,
Uh-huh.
but it has this surprising international dimension.
And finally, we see Goa in pop culture quite a bit, don't we?
Oh, definitely, especially in Bollywood.
Dil Chata Hai basically made it the place for a friend's road trip movie.
Totally iconic. And many others, like Singham. The landscapes are just so cinematic.
Plus, Panaji hosts the International Film Festival of India, IFFI, every year. That's a big deal.
Huge. And we should also mention influential Goan artists and writers. People like Damodar Mauzo, who won the Jnanpith Award, India's highest literary honor.
And the cartoonist Mario Miranda, his drawings are legendary.
Absolutely captured the spirit of Goa in such a unique, charming way.
So after all this,
Hmm.
what's the big picture? What does it all mean? I think our deep dive really shows Goa is so much more than just beaches and parties. It's this incredibly complex, fascinating place shaped by centuries of unique history, different cultures blending, those progressive laws we talked about, vibrant traditions, all coming together in a way that's just uniquely Goan.
I agree. The real aha moments for me are grasping that incredible historical depth, especially those 451 years under Portugal. It just changed everything. Then there's the Uniform Civil Code, that legal uniqueness within India is huge. And the way different faiths coexist and blend, that syncretism is really something special.
Yeah.
And finally, it's global links. The diaspora, the Lusophone connections. It shows how this small place has had a really wide impact. Goa is like a concentrated version of India's diversity, but with its own completely distinct flavor profile, you know?
Definitely. So maybe next time you hear about Goa, or maybe even plan a trip, think about how those nearly 5 centuries under Portugal didn't just build beautiful churches or inspire spicy food, but how it wove this unique social fabric, created this distinct identity that really does set Goa apart within the larger tapestry of India. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other places have these kinds of layered stories just waiting for us to uncover them?